Hi, we are Stages and Stereos, and you are on BlackSquirrelRadio.com.
I'm Zach, and I play guitar.
I'm Daniel, and I sing.
I'm Alex, and I play guitar.
I think you're so messed up. I think you're caught up in sin.
Well, the band, in its form now, we've been through several members, but I've known a couple of the guys from just playing music together over the years in different bands and just keeping that connection. And I met him through my big brother's band, and we're roommates, so it worked out really well. And Ian and I, our bass player, have known each other since high school, so we've all just kind of been kicking it for a while.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mashup of, you know, all of our years of touring and experience in different forms of different bands. Kind of all fate-wise found us together, all looking to play music, and so
yeah.
It was like one of those amazing things where 5 dudes are all looking to play music, same common goal, and all available to do it together. It's pretty cool.
Well, I would say definitely like maybe like aggressive pop rock with like an indie twist.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
With
solid.
some 80s flair in there.
Yeah.
And how has that changed with your band changing?
Well, it definitely changes when, you know, new members come in, new people have different ideas. And it changes as you grow, and the older you get, you start to take influence from different things, and just what you're listening to, what you want to play, what you want to sound like, it's kind of always evolving.
Agreed.
That is a broad spectrum.
I guess on the last record, we were really listening to Battleborn by The Killers pretty heavily. This guy listens to pretty much everything out there.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of crazy stuff. I'm super into like 80s singer-songwriter like Lionel Richie, but then also like I get influence from like the Backstreet Boys. Like, so I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah, we've been listening to, pretty steadily. We've been listening to 1975 and bands like The Neighborhood that have really broken through on that indie scene, and actually been bands that in 2014 actually come out and stay bands, sound like bands, and break through into the top 40 world. But I mean, we still listen to our throwback stuff that we all drew influence from back in the day, like the Taking Back Sundays and Jimmy Eat Worlds of the world. Those bands still kind of get a constant rotation.
Yeah, you gotta throw the oldies in.
Yeah.
Riddle me this, do you love me now?
It's definitely a group effort. Like, you know, someone will kind of bring maybe a main idea and then bring it to the group, and then the group takes it from there. But it's always a collaborative effort.
Do you prefer writing in the studio, or do you do it on the road, or is it kind of a combination of all of them?
We like to write where we rehearse, so we like to get together for like a week or so at a time and write songs together. I'm sure everybody's like spinning ideas while we're on the road and stuff, but definitely before we go to the studio.
Yes, stuff definitely comes through in the studio. Like, you definitely, you know, come up with new ideas, but the bulk of the writing is done mainly when we're at home at our practice.
Yeah, historically it usually works out better when you go into the studio with at least some foundation of a song. And it's nice to have like an idea of what you're going for in a song before you wind up in the studio. That's when songs kind of end up, or albums end up sounding just like what that producer that you're working with constantly churns out. So we're trying to avoid falling into that category, so we try to go in as prepared as possible.
Where I grew up, there's not much to see. A small town as a boy can be.
It just depends on what level you are playing with. You know, like everywhere there's kind of the same level of local bands. But stylistically, I guess it is a little bit different in the way that they dress. That's definitely a thing. People definitely have different clothing styles between here and there. And like, you know, just some people have different attitudes. Florida's a pretty laid-back environment. Not a lot of high-stress snow situations, you know? So that definitely changes people sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I mean, I feel like certain waves of music hit certain parts of the country before others, you know, like the scene in New York is a thriving scene. It's an A-market scene, thriving, a lot of cool bands coming out there, but those bands sound considerably different, sometimes darker, I find, than bands that are breaking out into the scene in LA. They kind of have like a brighter, more fun vibe.
Yeah, location does matter.
Yeah,
definitely.
Which is cool. I think that's why when you listen to, you know, satellite radio like Alt Nation or something like that, you hear like these bands that they're all technically could tour together. They have common similarities and influences, but certain bands you can tell that they're from New York, and you can tell the ones that are from Chicago compared to the ones that are from like Southern California or something. But you know.
I think you talk too much. Worry about what the people say.
What about day one, blowing up our trailer?
It's been a pretty wild ride for how shallow we are into the tour. We're pretty
There's like a weekend.
first weekend. I mean, we played a village.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we went to the crazy bar and met all the local bikers and whatnot. They told us that the Skinny Jeans bar was down the road.
Yeah, we've been to some small places that we stick out like a sore thumb, which is always kind of fun. It's actually, I kind of enjoy it, because it is, we booked this tour, it is a headlining run for us, but it's a smaller, you know, it's purposely in smaller clubs, so you end up finding yourself in these smaller towns, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about with different scenes. When you're playing really small towns, you know, I think we kind of look very interesting to locals and those things, but you also find yourself in funny situations where you're staying with different people every night, and I don't know,
Complete
it's
strangers let you sleep at their houses and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
It's always interesting.
Hand in hand, we will learn, my dear.
I'm excited to go back to the studio.
Yeah.
I can't wait. And I'm excited to be on tour for most of the year. That's really exciting.
Do you have plans to do that? Very
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, we are. We've been writing, before this tour we were doing some solid writing, and then we're doing this tour, and then going right into the studio in June to do some stuff, and then we're going right back out on the road in the summer. So stay on the road, be best buddies, and hang out and play music, try and spread, what did Macklemore say? Make music, bring it to the people, or whatever. Something like that.
Pepper commercial.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go to like New York. Like that's one of my favorite parts about touring is just like seeing your friends in their cities where they live.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about going to New York and then hopefully LA again in the summer. Things like that are really awesome.
I'm down to keep my tongue under lock and key, always away from everyone.
Man, it can 100% affect your day. It can totally change your mood, it can make you happy, it can make you sad, and then not only that, but it totally controls all 5 of our life.
Yeah.
We do everything that we do based around music.
It's pretty much all I think about.
It's
all the
very,
time.
very, has a huge effect on our lives.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be having kind of a dreary day. The first part of this tour, we were in some pretty cold environments. It was raining.
It was raining the entire
nonstop.
time.
And you kind of wake up in that rainy vibe mood, and then all of a sudden you hear like one of your favorite songs, or he's always on to the next new thing before anyone else is onto it, and then 3 months later, but he'll show a song that I've never heard of, and it just like, your mood totally changes. It's awesome.
The music is amazing.
Yeah.
That's definitely why we're here right now in Kent, Ohio, talking to you.
Wow, I mean, it's helped us a good bit just because you can make your music so accessible to everyone, like all over the world, really. And I mean, people aren't really buying hard copy records anymore, but I think the future is going, like, people are getting way more into vinyl. You know, nobody's really doing the whole CDR thing or whatever, but I feel like vinyl is making a really good comeback, and that's going to be awesome for bands. And
Yeah, it's funny because it does, like he's saying, it makes it very easy to access a lot of people without even ever having to go there. You know, we have fans in Australia. Never been to Australia. it's not even in our, I mean, hopefully it's in our projected future, but I mean, it's down the road. But in that same light, you know, it makes it so that there's a lot more people trying to do it. You know, there's a lot more bands out there that are not on the road, but making waves in the music industry without that. So I think it adds competition, which makes it harder for every band to really stand out. But, you know, it also does certain things like, yeah, digital downloading's awesome, CDs are kind of a lost form of art, but there's still a demand for the hard copy. So now all of a sudden you're seeing a resurgence in vinyls, which is pretty rad.
People will eventually want something tangible.
Yeah.
I think that'll be cool.
And I think they're making steps. I mean, we actually got him and I live together, as he mentioned earlier, and we, you know, sometimes we'll get on the internet and find like torrents for movies and we'll watch movies. But just recently, Comcast has sent us a bill saying, or saying, not a bill, but like a warning saying like, we noticed that you've been downloading movies, this is a warning. So, you know, I think that they're cracking down on certain stuff, and I think that with moderation, I think that's probably a good thing, you know, for the artist and for the movie world or the entertainment industry in general, for somebody to kind of be mildly policing the amount of illegal downloading of people's hard-earned hard work. You know?
Yeah, I'm not in fear of the industry right now. I'm not. It's just a matter of adapting. It's an exciting time for music. It's really an exciting time. It's just a matter of adapting and learning how to roll with it.
For sure.
Definitely. Notorious Big.
Oh,
That'd be sweet.
That'd be pretty
He'd
sweet.
probably be like, man, y'all a bunch of chumps.
It's hard when it's alive or dead, because I could say somebody alive, but there's so many great dead people.
I want to play.
I want to say it's very nonchalant.
What it would say, more people have died or dead than have been alive.
Yeah.
That are alive right now.
There's far more dead people
Far more
than
dead.
alive.
I want to play a show for the cast of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
That's good.
I want them to like hang out at our show with us.
That's pretty sweet. There's got to be somebody. I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool to play in front of like Freddie Mercury or something, and like actually have him critique your vocals. Like that would be pretty crazy, because you'd learn something, but you'd be nervous as hell. But at the same time, sometimes that makes you perform your best when you're just like, I got to do this the best ever, because that's Freddie Mercury right there.
I would say I would like to play for Jerry Seinfeld. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, it'd be.
You just make sarcastic jokes at you the whole time.
Low-key chill session with Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah.
And friends.
Or Obama. If we were playing for Obama, that means we've made it, so that would be pretty tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time you see Obama, he attends a lot of concerts and goes to like all those types of things. Every time you see him on TV watching music, he's like, he knows like all the words, and he's just like vibing,
Maybe,
which I think is pretty sweet.
I mean, we're going presidents here. Let's do one dead. Maybe Abraham Lincoln. Because I heard he played guitar, and there's a Smithsonian wax reel recording of him just jamming on the git.
Wow.
It's pretty sweet.
Can you hear me calling out? I know you walk that way.
My trousers.
I would hide him. I would hide him in the non-black squirrels area.
Inside the Sheets. Sheets gas station.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what is it? I'm trying to think. There's a show where this person hides his money in a certain box. I think it was Runner. Hide them in just like a bad box of food that no one wants to eat, like something really awful, maybe like a can of Spam or something. Cause
You'd keep your nuts.
But Steve would get that. Steve would get that.
Yeah.
He loves Spam. Doing like a tin of anchovies, but that's like dated to expire in the 80s.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Nobody wants to eat that, but
Squirrels don't have canopers, so.
we saw that squirrel literally pick up a piece of pizza and eat it like a human being. We were playing.
Squirrels love za.
Yeah, we figured out that squirrels love za. We played a show not long ago, a couple weeks back at University of Tampa, and we literally saw this squirrel pick up a piece of pizza off the ground, do the New York fold and just eat it. And we were blown, our minds were blown. I mean, that was pretty cool. So I think squirrels are probably pretty intelligent when it's about food.
This is where we find ourselves.
Yeah, come check us out on this tour. Live Free Die Young tour. Check out the dates. Hopefully we're hitting a city near you.
And our record, Small Town Favorites, is out right now. You can check it out on iTunes. We have Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Follow us. We're all pretty active on that, so anything you need to know about the band, you can find it out there. It's worth a Google.
Party on. Wayne.
I'm down to keep my tongue under lock and key.